Hi, I'm Sunava. I'm the Chief Product Officer at Pacvue. It's an absolute pleasure to be here in Cannes with Amazon and our friends at L'Oreal.
Hi, I'm Vivek Roy. I'm the Global Retail Media Director at L'Oreal. Happy to be here.
All right, so Vivek, it's been a while since I've seen you,
Yep.
and it's really good to see you again.
Likewise.
Congratulations on getting married,
Thank you.
and thanks for making the time to interview with us. I wanted to ask you a question because, see, you bring a really unique perspective. We're going to talk a lot about fragmentation of commerce media and silos. But I think for a lot of people, those are buzzwords. For you, you see it because of your company, L'Oreal's vast reach. I mean, one of the largest brands out there. So your perspective is very valuable. So we'd love to hear how you view that and what really stands out about fragmentation and silos today.
Yeah, it's an interesting question because for us, retail media is media in the sense that it should be treated as media done by experts, but at the service of brands and our commercial teams. So it is uniquely poised in the sense that it sits for us at the intersection of media, commercial and sales teams, and brand teams. And yes, in theory, it can look like there are silos in how retail media is structured today. But the way we approach it is that because we know it's uniquely poised and to serve the business and service of the brands, we ensure that our teams are working together towards what we call unified KPIs. So it's important to align on what that KPI is for you as a business, and then all teams can then work in that direction so everybody knows what success looks like. So then it doesn't matter where it sits in the organization as long as everybody is working towards that one common objective.
Got it. So what I'm hearing you say is that it's not necessarily a function of organizational challenges. Every company is going to have a large matrix organization. That's just the reality of being a large organization. You're saying that having unifying KPI can make a huge difference in defragmentation.
Absolutely.
That makes a lot of sense. How do you see platform providers and technology also assisting and supporting that unified KPI goal that you're setting across your company?
It's great that you bring that up. There's a huge topic on, okay, how do we make our dollars work harder, right? At the end of the day, get the most bang for your buck. And when it comes to technology, and specifically in retail media, the ability to use retailer data to use some of that transactional information really helps in ensuring that we're spending behind the right, let's say, ASINs in this case,
Right.
to make sure that there's limited wastage of media dollars. For example, if media dollars are sitting behind ASINs that people are not clicking on or not searching for,
Right.
how can we seamlessly move those dollars to ASINs that are actually converting and bringing our sales?
Yeah.
So that's where I feel technology can play a big role, and does play a big role for us in ensuring that we're really leveraging that automation and those signals to optimize the way we buy media.
Absolutely. And I just wanted to add, from a Pacvue perspective on top of that, as we build out a commerce grid, which is a full funnel, multi-retail experience, what Amazon is doing here is really huge for both of us, right? Because let's be honest, Amazon DSP, I mean, you're getting unprecedented reach, you're getting Amazon AMC, being able to join the data with brand data, and then being able to act upon that, right, within the Amazon retail media ecosystem. So I think Amazon is helping defragment that industry today.
Yeah.
And, I can see as we continue to integrate, like, for example, with creative, dynamic creative optimization, we take area by area, right, cohort analysis. I can see that helping support your goal, as you work towards those KPIs.
Yeah, I think just to build on what you said, I think Amazon is leading the way in how they present data to us, bring more transparency in this industry, which is at the front and center of everything we do as L'Oreal, is try to elevate the industry and make sure that we know what we're buying against and we know where we stand. And I think, yes, AMC and the capabilities that AMC is bringing and the
Yes.
evolution of AMC in not just bringing more insights to us to help us plan, but also give us ideas on where to target, what and how to optimize is
Yes.
very helpful.
No, and we've been very fortunate to be part of the Amazon partner, one of the first partners in ads for the last 6 or 7 years. So we will continue to innovate with AMC and bring the latest and greatest to L'Oreal. I wanted to switch gears a little bit and talk now instead of fragmentation as in operational fragmentation, which obviously you're fixing through KPI and technology. I want to talk about the commerce execution loop. So think of it as the planning, execution, measurement, and then iteration, adjustment of plans, right? So we're using a lot of technology today to improve that. Agentic is one of the many, many tools available to us. For example, you can use your Pacvue agent to set your campaign goals, optimize against KPIs. You can then basically using entirely natural language, set up your campaigns after that. But there are also more traditional tools that have been, let's be honest, 95% of the workflows happen today, dashboards. And, so there's work touch points where, we are unifying the different steps. But beyond that, we're also looking at signals and data. So, for example, bringing commerce data, bringing social data to help campaign plan, execute, measure. Wanted to hear from your perspective as a leader in L'Oreal, how are you leveraging data, operations, AI, etc., to bring it all together?
Yeah, I can talk about two things, right? One is we have what we call BedIQ. It's our in planning tool. It helps us across the beauty engagement touch points that we have to help with annual planning, and that's one piece of the pie. The second thing is AI is everywhere, right? Like everybody has an AI agent. There's the question is not about potentially on AI, it's how do you use it, and how do we make sure that there's enough guardrails that we create that allow teams to operate within those guardrails when it comes to AI. So for us, it's about obviously having that human oversight behind everything we do. The second part is more on AI powered formats, right? So a lot of platforms are having AI powered formats. For example, on Amazon, you have Performance Plus,
Yes.
where you can plan and optimize and execute towards an objective.
Yes.
And so leaning into that and understanding what role that can play is something that we're testing quite a bit as well.
Yeah, that makes sense. What I'm hearing you say is you're using tools, but you're also using algorithms,
Yeah.
right? Goal-based algorithms like
Yes.
Performance Plus that help you get to where you need to go. This makes a lot of sense. And I also, one of the things that we worked on together, I remember in Paris, was you were like, hey, look, I've got a part of a giant company. I would love to see my regional breakdowns, see billing, see all of that, right? Operational details, performance, efficiency. So we've been bringing a lot of that together as well in partnership with L'Oreal through different dashboards, views, agentic, on-demand agentic workflows, etc. So, we continue to invest in defragmenting the marketing workflows.
I think, yeah, to your point, there's the dashboard, there's the ability to look at all our retail media buys
Yes.
in one place. Or when you spoke about fragmentation,
Yes.
there's the industry is very fragmented.
Yes.
We work with over 250 retailers, right? So you're talking about so many buying doors, essentially. And what I think Pacvue has now allowed us to do is ensure we can plan and view everything under one roof,
Yes.
make buying and reporting automated, which is essentially, if you have to elevate the industry, that's what we need to do more of.
No, absolutely. And actually, I want to dive a little deeper on this one, which is it's a very narrow area, but I think it's pretty interesting. So we're partnering with Amazon or AMC and NoSQL queries, right? Because measurement is huge. And, L'Oreal, you all have data scientists, you all have a large team, as you mentioned, right? You all can do that. But sometimes it's just nice to be able to, even for execs, to be look at a NoSQL query through Slack or whatever console you're using to go pull a result up. Is that something like you all are tapping into, with AMC and Pacvue and all?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you talk about dashboard and reporting,
Right.
but there's also a fatigue that comes with dashboard fatigue.
Yeah.
Right? There's so many dashboards, so many places. So we're actively working, especially with AMC, in building, say, companions on how can we ensure that our teams have access to information through L'Oreal GPT, which is our version of ChatGPT, and we work with all Gemini, all the platforms essentially, and essentially that companion is going to help any team, whether you're in marketing, commerce, media
Yes.
to be able to pull insights from AMC by asking a simple question. And I think that's the future of how you could democratize
Yeah, democratize. Yeah.
what AMC actually does.
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense. Some of the other things we're also trying to do is trying to build a multimodal IROAS model, right? That basically can help you reallocate your spend dynamically and very quickly. So I think that could be something that would be useful in the industry. But I wanted to hear about your thoughts. And is that something that you all are interested in testing out down the line?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's something that we've already started speaking with you
Yes.
on,
Yes.
working with our marketing effectiveness teams, essentially on building that out to then start testing it. Absolutely. And I think with every, like, L'Oreal will is very keen on trying and testing and pushing
Right.
the boundaries on what's possible.
Yeah.
And I think there's a huge opportunity for us to do that.
Yeah, with Pacvue iROAS Pro, we're hoping to be one of the first people to get iROAS out of the measurement lab and into the activation space. So we're excited about that as well. Um, okay, so I want to talk a little bit about efficiency. Vivek, in our conversations, even earlier today, you were mentioning efficiency, right? That's something, I mean, every dollar matters deeply. You're trying to get the maximum for your dollar. Where do you see the biggest opportunities to unlock efficiency for your different brands? Is it is some of it operational? Is it some of capital allocation, technology? Again, coming back to all of that.
Technology definitely brings in efficiency. AI brings in efficiency, right? And to your point, there's two ways. One is efficiency in campaigns, like campaign setup, structures,
Yeah.
all of that. Lesser time to set up a campaign,
Yeah.
essentially. And then lesser time to even manage the campaign. Or
Mm.
you have some automation rules
Yeah.
that you can use to make sure that you are efficiently spending those media dollars towards an objective you want to achieve. Then there is a whole piece on human efficiency. So what I do want to focus on is that the ability for our teams to now think about how they can deliver value
Hmm.
as opposed to spending more time in campaign setup will definitely unlock that potential that everybody should have
Right.
to say, how can I bring more value to the business? What else can I do?
Right.
Spend time thinking about thinking.
Yes.
Spend time thinking.
Yes. What I'm hearing you say basically is you're trying to shift the center of gravity around your sizable teams from operational clicking buttons, scrolling, processing to actual high value strategic work.
Yeah.
And that would be a huge unlock at the scale you all operate with.
Exactly. Again, I'm going to mention this because it's important that where you have a lot of AI coming in
Yeah.
everywhere, that, like, we have internal guardrails. AI for us does not replace the human,
Right.
but it augments human capabilities.
Yes.
And so it's still managed by human beings, but at the same time within guardrails and making sure that we're not just setting it and forgetting it.
Right.
So that's it. Very important.
Lovely. So I wanted to actually throw something out. So we're a startup, a large startup now, but we're still a startup. We consider ourselves a startup at Pacvue. I want to throw something around getting the bigger bang for your buck, right? So we all know that trade budget and marketing dollars have been separate. You're seeing that they're starting to converge more and more, even if organizationally they might be separate. We're thinking about bringing some of that together in Pacvue by showing promotions in retailers alongside ads. For example, imagine you have a product like a cream, and like, hey, here's a manufacturer promotion, $2. Here's that. That we hope allows brands like yours to decide what is the best mix. But I think even before that, it's like getting insights into the promotions and offers world, which is sometimes really segmented. Is that something L'Oreal would find valuable?
Again, I think where I sit, I don't manage the trade budgets,
Yeah.
but I do see value in potentially servicing this information to give the customer the information,
Right.
and say more clearly, let's say, because on Amazon it is fairly clear.
Right.
On most other retailers it may not be as clear.
Yes.
And so how can we work together to say, okay, let's try this, surface this information, and then test and see how that works.
Yeah.
Does it convert better? Does it
Yeah.
not? And then take it from there for sure.
The other thing that I know that you're very passionate about is trust, governed execution. And we've had conversations about this for a long time, which is like agents. But it goes beyond agents, but we should just start with agents because that's really where a lot of innovation is happening today. How do you view trust governance when it comes to using agentic AI in your workflows and your summarizations, your actions, etc.?
Agents definitely accelerate a lot of the work that previously would have taken enough and more time.
Yeah.
You talk about AMC. I don't know how to code.
Yeah.
I don't know how to write SQL. So if I'm going into AMC and my output is an Excel file
Yeah.
after, I don't know, 2 hours of a SQL query running that may not time out because I don't know how much I've
Yeah.
asked for, and then be frustrated by the output. An agent today, I can go in and ask a question, it gives me an answer that I'm looking for.
Right.
So I think there's a lot of work that I think AI and agent done in this space. You talk about the ads agent in the Amazon BSP.
Yes.
So right now you can upload a brief,
Right.
and in the Amazon DSP, it'll create a campaign for you, and it'll ask you if you're ready to execute. So you can actually go through all the steps. It's
Yep.
like it's done, validate them, and run the campaign. So there's a lot of efficiency that it brings. But you're right, and I've probably mentioned this 5 times already, is that
Yep.
at the end of the day, it still needs to have guardrails on what the human behind the console sees and says yes, no, maybe.
Yes. So, and for Pacvue, like when we talk about guardrails, we think about a lot of different things, adversarial testing, etc. But for example, one guardrail that's very important to us is keeping brands separate. We do not want brand data, the agent, because it has access to everything, right? We don't want the agent to suddenly leak brand X data to brand Y, or worse, company X data to company Y. Those are like red lines where guardrails, for example, matter significantly. What about trust? Because like one of the things that I was talking with Amazon recently is like agents, to build trust, agents have to explain their results and how they came up with that so they're auditable. When someone on your team is looking at the results, they're able to look at the click stream and say, oh, yep, yes, this makes sense. How do you view trust? And do you feel like the industry is where you want it to be, or it's moving in the right direction as a consumer and a power user, at least your company being a power user of these products?
I think we're moving in the right direction.
Okay.
I genuinely believe that there is now enough and more governance on the topic.
Yes.
There is enough and more voices around the table asking for this, and asking brands like us asking for this.
Right.
So we're not the only brand trying to push for more transparency and oversight. There are others out there, and I think as a collective, we need to bring this and move this forward, which I think is happening. People can always say, is it too fast? Is it too slow? And that's debatable.
Right.
But I think we're moving in the right direction.
And actually, that's going to be really good for our product and engineering leaders all across the world who are working on these technologies, to hear from a consumer like you that things are moving the right direction, because sometimes it feels like we're never fast enough.
What's your point of view on it?
My point is that there's 3 things that need to happen. There's governance, to your point, and guardrails. 100% aligned on that. Explainability, like we talked about. And the third one is there has to be confirmation of receipts. Meaning, once you tell the agent to go do these things, you have to have confirmations, exceptions, and all of these very clearly articulated. Sometimes that does not happen. So you think you get the results, but then when you audit the results after that, you're like, you know what? You made a bunch of omissions and parameters that I had actually told you to go do. So I think that third piece is also very important.
I agree.
All right, so we'll go to a final question. This is a fun one. I think it's a pretty broad question. What's the message, Vivek, you want every commerce media leader to take away?
Retail media, what we call retail media, what you call commerce media, is media and should be treated as such. If our customers, like retailers, want to become media owners, they need to start acting like media owners, in the sense that we need more transparency, more automation in both buying and reporting, and the right people on both sides having that conversation.
Right.
Yes. It cannot be just moving money from one pocket to another. It has to be treated as media.
I love this because I think what you're ending with is that it's not an operational problem only. It's not a problem that can be solved solely by technology. People have to come together.
People have to come together.
I love that. With that, that's all we have. Thank you.